The JFDI Innov8 Bootcamp 2012 Demo Day. We are so glad to see you here tonight, and man, do we have a show for you. My name is Boris. I will be your purser here today, and together with our captains and the crew, we will take you on a flight visiting some of the most amazing startups from this and a lot of other regions. First, I want to go through some of the safety instructions. Rule number 1, please turn off your cell phones, as they might interfere with some of the brilliant minds that are gathered here today. Emergency exits are located here and here. And if you should experience shortness of breath due to one of the amazing pitches you will see, oxygen masks will be released automatically from the ceiling. Please go through the safety instructions that you will find in the seat pockets in front of you. And now, do buckle up, because we're about to take off. Yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I've done 10+ startups, 1 IPO, and a couple of trade sales. And 2 years ago, I decided it was time to move to the epicenter of growth, Asia. It didn't take me very long to choose Singapore. And when the Startup Genome Project recently announced Singapore to be the #1 startup ecosystem in Asia, well, I knew I'd chosen the right place. Ladies and gentlemen, we are sitting in the capital of the next generation startup nation. And you're at the JFDI Innov8 Bootcamp. It's the place to be. Now, when I came to Singapore, I very quickly started hearing this buzz about these 2 entrepreneurs, Meng Wong and Hugh Mason, that were going around Asia looking for the hottest startups to bring them together right here in Singapore. So I was like, I totally have to be part of that. Now today, here I stand, and I'm going to bring up the CEO and co-founder, Hugh Mason, of JFDI, to talk more about the idea and the vision. Please welcome up Hugh Mason.
Whoa! Thank you, Boris, and thank you everyone for joining us here today. It feels quite emotional to be standing here. It's something like 2 or 3 years ago, Meng and I thought we'd have a go at this thing, and well, here we are. And here you are. And that's the most important thing, because with all the buzz and all the palaver around Instagram and Facebook and all the rest of it, I don't know if you've noticed, I've seen a whole spectator sport grow up around startups. It's an interesting and exciting space. And there are a lot of spectators out there and commentators. You are the players, just like us. If you're thinking that you're going to sit there in the audience and just be a passive audience, I have news for you. This is an audience participation show. It's in a very real sense. We're hoping that you will write some checks, if not today, then very soon. Longer term, it's about much more than the 11 companies you're about to see. It's about building an ecosystem, something that's very vibrant here in Singapore. Like Boris, I chose to bring my family here. I've applied for permanent residency. My son will do national service if we're accepted. I've chosen to come and live in this part of the world because I believe in it. Belief is one thing. Process like that which has been developed by Techstars is another thing. But ultimately, investment and success in innovation comes down to people. Comes down to social capital, bringing people together. And that's what's so wonderful, seeing everyone coming here today. It's so rare that we have gathered in one place entrepreneurs, investors, all the way from angels through to, I think, Temasek are here, and certainly Vertex and various other larger funds. So extraordinary to bring everyone together, people from government too. I wanted to tell you a little bit about where we've come from, what we're trying to achieve. And the story actually starts in a place that has some parallels with Singapore. Boulder, Colorado, 10 or 15 years ago, was a beautiful town, a town where wealthy people chose to retire. It had a university, it had a well-educated population. Pretty small, actually, a few 100,000 people. Had no innovation or startup ecosystem at all to speak of. They tried setting up an incubator, and traditional incubators failed there, like they failed everywhere around the world. Not for want of trying, not for want of goodwill, but just because the model is wrong. Putting people in cheap office space and throwing money at them doesn't create innovation. What's required is something that involves the whole community in mentoring, in genuine positive engagement. And a man called David Cohen came up with the idea for Techstars. The idea would be to bring together teams of entrepreneurs, engineers, doers, not so many MBAs, but more like people who could execute, bring them together in one place, sure, give them a bit of money, sure, give them a place to work, but mostly give them lots of advice and support. Because we all know, all of those who've started businesses, that it's tough when you have to make all the mistakes yourself. So much more positive if you can get support from people who've been there and done it before. JFDI has had that support. Some of you are in the audience here, some of you in the back, some are upstairs. Thank you to all of our mentors, without which this program absolutely would not have been possible. The process of taking companies through 100 days has been about guiding them through a scientific process called lean startup methodology, through which we've tried to de-risk each aspect of the business. From JFDI's point of view, we're a company that produces startups. You are our customers. We want you to buy what you're going to see today. And if you don't want to buy it, please tell us why, because we need to fix that. In that sense, what you're about to see is 11 great companies, but you're also about to see the beginning of something that we hope will be a step change in innovation here in Singapore, a process that isn't just about us, it certainly isn't about Meng and me. It may have been when it started off, but it's now about a much, much larger community. And it includes you. We would like to talk to each and every one of you after today, find out what you think we could do differently, if we should do this again or do it differently. So let me tell you a little bit more about what we try to achieve. Using this lean startup approach, we've tried to direct the energy of early stage companies towards producing things that customers want. Duh. Sounds obvious, doesn't it? But if you think of the traditional way that businesses often start up, someone has a bright idea and a passion for something, someone gives them money, they kind of beetle away, and then at the end they take it out and try and sell it to customers, and then they find out actually nobody wants to buy it because it wasn't quite what the customer wanted. That doesn't work. The lean startup process involves really, really fast iteration around a process of creating a dirty and ugly prototype, testing it in front of customers, getting feedback and revising that prototype. Trying to prove three things. Trying to prove that there is a problem out there worth solving, trying to prove that the solution the company's come up with fits that problem, and trying to prove that the solution fits the market. In other words, it's something people will want to buy. The companies you're about to see are very, very new. The old, some of them were very lucky and hit the ground with an idea that happened to fit the market and everything else on day one. Those are the ones that have achieved the most traction. Many of these companies, they're not ready for Series A. They're companies which are going to need active investors, but they're all companies that we think have a fantastic future because they have been de-risked and because their business models have been proven. That's what we think. The future, though, isn't about us. It's about you and what you do next. So please, enjoy, watch what you're about to see, and tell us what you think afterwards. Enjoy the show.
Thank you very much, Hugh Mason, CEO of JFDI. And now, we're about to start the show